Alright guys, so today I'm going to do a little maintenance work. Basically just going to kind of clean up the chain a little bit here. Went out riding the past few days out on some trails, so got the chain kind of dusty and dirty. So basically just going to clean that up real quick, and then the next project is right over here. I bought this little mounting plate from SRC Moto, and it's actually a really nice plate. It's got dual USB. It's got a 12-volt charger here, like a cigarette lighter charger. So it's pretty nice, and it's got these little switches for accessories. I've got the right one hooked up over here to my fog lights. And it actually works really nice, but unfortunately, I don't know what happened here, if maybe moisture or something got into this, but this USB plug no longer works. So I contacted the company, and these guys were absolutely amazing. They they ended up sending me a brand new one for free. Just this little plug here. So just 2 wires. So basically pull the old one out, plug the wires in, screw this back on, I'm back up and running. But these guys were amazing. I mean, I called them, I think it was about a week ago, and explained what was going on, told them, you know, all my issues with it. And we diagnosed it, did a few tests, and then came to find out the thing is just blown out. So this was like 10 o'clock my time, probably 7 o'clock their time, where they're at. And they were still contacting me by email and like doing everything they could to help me, and literally next day shipped this product out, and I had the part back to me within a few days ready to go. So I'm actually pretty impressed with this company. Excellent quality work on their items, and the customer service is amazing. So if you get a chance, check them out. This is their logo right here. So you can see SRC Moto is the logo. Go check them out online, see what kind of products they have and items they have for your bike. Anyways guys, be back in a second and get started on this project. Alright guys, so first thing, to be able to take this off, we got to take the screen off on the front. So there's just 3 little hex head bolts here. So just remove these. Please. There's one more up here. And we can work on that plug. Alright. So all 3 are off. Take the screen off, set that aside. And definitely have to clean that. That thing's pretty disgusting. But at this point, take the camera, come up over here, come around here, and it's kind of dark in this little warehouse, but hopefully you guys can see there is a little kind of rubber sheath coating that's on here. I'm going to slide that back to expose the wires. There's a little nut here. Spin that out of the way, that loosens up the unit. Then I could pull the 2 wires off, pull this out, put the new one in, and then I think we're ready to go. We'll be back up and running again. So I'm going to put this camera back over here for a moment while I work on this. You guys take a look, and hopefully we'll have this thing up and running in a couple of minutes. Alright, so now we just got to pull these 2 wires out, clamped on. Guess that's easier said than done. Ah, there we go. Alright. So that's out. Alright, not too bad. Now I gotta figure out how to unscrew this thing. lose that latch. I have to get a set of pliers to unscrew that. That thing's on pretty tight. Looks like this one was installed a little crooked, so it's not coming out as easy. So hopefully the other one goes straight in. I don't have any issues with it. All right, old one's out. Let's get the new one in. All right, nothing too bad. Alright, so try to get these wires locked on first before I screw all this back in. Try to make it a little easier than last time. I'll have to just cut a little notch in this thing to make it easier. It's pretty tight. Pain in the balls. There's one. One more. Come on, you can do it. Maybe not. All right. Good. Grab this. Yeah. Blue power lights on. So I'll show you guys. You can see here. If I flip this up, there's a little blue indicator light. It shows that the power is on. It is working. So I'm going to go ahead and get my phone. Take a second here and just put it on the charger. We'll give it a shot just to make sure before I think I'm done with this. Hopefully it'll work with my case on. If not, then I have to take the case off, but let's give it a shot, see. And bam, 100% charge. Green lights on, and we're in business. It was that easy, man. So thank God that was a pretty easy install. Didn't take a whole lot of effort. So I'm pretty happy. Go ahead and turn this off. So again, guys, if you get a chance, go over to SRC Moto, check these guys out. They were amazing. Like I said, the customer service was freaking awesome. I mean, they were on top of this, and literally, you know, as soon as we got it figured out what it was, they shipped this part out next day. I had it within a couple of days and ready to install. So anyway. All right, guys, so about an hour and a half later, got everything done. Got it all washed, polished, chains back up and running, looking good again. You can actually see the gold on it instead of brown like before with all the dust and dirt and debris that was on it. So got that all set up. She's looking good. So just wanted to go over a couple of things that I did to this bike. On the front here, like we talked about earlier, went over the SRC Moto, the dash. It has a 12-volt power outlet. Also has two USB outlets over here, you can see. And then it's got these accessory switches. You can hook them up to whatever you want to power. Again, I've got this right one hooked up over here to my fog lights that I have in the front. And that was another accessory I put on, which was pretty nice. And I think these were from eBay. They were only maybe like 40 bucks, something like that. They were pretty cheap, but super simple to do, just a plug and play. There's a accessory that goes behind here, and it literally just plugs in. I mean, there was really nothing to it. There's one power wire, runs along the side here. This is where the battery is. Just take this off, plug it into the battery, and that little plug in the front, and you're good to go. So it's pretty nice. These ram mounts I put on here, this is for my phone holder, which is a nice little accessory. And same thing, the ram mount fold holder itself, which is a slide out, so I can put my case in there, protect my phone, and be able to take it with me. And then I've got a charging cord that'll come around and it'll plug right here from the dual USB, which is pretty nice and convenient. And then I've got the ram mount double take mirrors. They fit right here. I have them off right now because I've been doing so much trail riding off-road that the last time I went out, I had a small wipeout and some sugar sand, and I tipped them over. It didn't break them, but I figured, you know, there's really no point out on the trails and having it. All I'm going to end up doing is tearing them up. So might as well take them off and save them for when I'm out on the road. But so far, she's looking pretty good. The side panniers and side racks, I took those off a while ago, probably several months ago. This is from Impreda, this rack that goes on the back, and it has a plate here which goes to almost like a Givey top bag, and I'll show you guys that in a few minutes. But it just clamps right on, clicks in, and it locks. That way, you know, nobody can steal it or take it, and all the items in sight are safe as well. But I had the rack, it actually sat out here. It was kind of nice because it did protect the pipe in case of a tip over or something. But they were just kind of big, bulky, and you know, especially out on the trail, catching branches and, you know, limbs, things when you're going through the woods, just wasn't very smart. So for now, I took it off. If I do a road trip or something like that, I'll probably end up putting those back on, and that way I can take my bags with me on the trip. But so far, that's really all I have going on. I got these pedals here. Put these on aftermarket. Those are pretty nice. Got these little pegs here. They really lock into your boots, keep your foot secure. And then I got this RFX shifter, and it's pretty nice. Bends in, foldable. I really like that a lot. It actually works out really well with my motocross boots. And I got the same thing on this side for the brake. So it came as a set off of eBay. Again, that kind of flips out of the way just in case you were to hit something. It's not going to break or bend. It should protect it a little bit. I mean, I'm sure in a good wipeout, this thing will probably be destroyed. But, you know, if you're out in the trails or something, and you know, hit a branch or a log, or, you know, you tip this thing over in the sand, it's really not going to hurt it too bad. And I've actually done that. I dumped it on this side and did nothing except scratch up a little bit of the paint. And again, got the same peg on this side. And these are pretty nice. Really like those a lot. Plus, it's a wider base than the stock, so it's a little easier on my feet. I don't feel like they're pressing, digging into the bottom of my feet, so I'm not sore at the end of the day when I'm riding. But oh yeah, Impreda crash bars. I know I've talked about this in the past, but I figure we're right here, might as well go over it. Put these on just to protect the bike, and it actually works really well. I know a lot of people don't like them because it adds extra weight, but I have to say, I mean, it was definitely worth it, because I've dumped this thing both sides probably 3 or 4 times, and both times, you know, it saved the bike. This one is a little bit bent, and I went over this in another video where I was actually fixing it, but you can see it's kind of really close, just barely touching the plastic over here. But it did its job. It saved the bike, protected the plastic. I didn't destroy it, and it's got a nice plate underneath here. Skid plate. I really like that. It's pretty heavy duty, and it really does help to protect the bottom from rocks and logs and things. And you know, I've been out on the trails recently quite a bit, and I mean, I'm hitting all kinds of stuff out there, and thank God it's there, because if not, these little plastic covers they give you from Honda, those things would have just been ripped off, broken, and destroyed otherwise. So I give it to Impreda. They actually did a good job designing this, putting it together. I'm pretty happy with it. And it's definitely saved my bike several times. Same thing with the Tusk guards here, hand guards. Put these on. This was probably one of the first things I did. I took the stock ones off, which was a flimsy, like, little piece of plastic. It was garbage. Took those off and put these on. Solid material, hooks right into the handlebar here. And again, I've dumped this thing. You can see it's scratched up here where I've dropped it several times, you know, out in the trails, you know, just in a parking lot. You know, I was kind of off balance a little bit, tipped it over a couple of times, and definitely protected the bike. So got them over here. You can see some scratches here a little bit, you know, on the sides, but, you know, no serious damage. And, you know, worst case, this is plastic. You know, you just take this off the 2 screws, order another one, put it back on, and you're up and running, going again. Looks like new. So I'm actually pretty happy with the bike. Runs really well. I haven't had a single problem. Just over 10,000 miles on the bike now. I think about 10,100 actually. And I mean, it's running strong. Probably going to end up changing these tires out. A few months ago, I went up to Croom up near Ocala and had a shop up there put these on for me to go out and ride Croom, but I've been doing some street riding along with the trails, and it's starting to chew these things up. These knobs on the top and the center starting to get worn down a little bit. So I might try to, you know, use them maybe another month or so, see how much more life I can get out of them. And then once those are done, I've got another set in here, and this is the MT21 and the D606. So this, that's my MT21. So I'll end up putting that on the front, and then this thick beast right here, that's my D606, and I'll end up putting that on the rear eventually. And I imagine once we hit rainy season, all the trails are going to be pretty crappy and flooded, and really won't be much riding out there, you know, for a few months during hurricane rainy season. So what I might end up doing is switching out to the tire that's in the back, which is a Shinko 705. And that's the rear tire. And then I got the front Shinko 705 over here. And I'll probably stick those on and just do some light street riding, you know, get some friends and maybe do a ride down to Miami or up to Orlando, do something like that. But yeah, during rainy season, the trails are pretty useless out here. They're flooded so bad, it's not really worth it. And then final, I was talking about this before. This is the box, tail box that I put on. And it's pretty nice. It clips onto that plate that you saw on top of the rear of the bike, and it does have a lock on it, so it locks it to the bike as well as locking the actual box itself. So I can actually fit a helmet in there. I've put my motorcycle helmet in it, which is pretty much the only thing I can put in there because it's so big. Or I could put, you know, I like my tire pump tools, spare tube, and just other items. I'll usually put like water and snacks, something like that for a ride. And it works out pretty well. Plus, you know, if I stay at a hotel or something like that, I can take it off, and it's got a handle on it. So I can just carry it with me like my luggage, take it in my room, and it's safe, secure. And the next day, put it back on, I'm ready to ride again. While we're here, what the hell? Let's go over the trailer. Might as well talk about this while we're here. Anyways, I know I've done quite a few videos on this single motorcycle trailer from Ace, and this thing's freaking amazing. Tell you what, I mean, I did some modifications to it myself. It didn't come like this. This wheel chuck was not on here. It had like a little flimsy one that just kind of bolted in with a pin in the front. It was garbage. So I bought this off a guy for 20 bucks, painted it, and I took it to a buddy of mine. He welded it here on each side to tack it down. It's got these screws for that plate to hold it in place. This thing just kind of locks into the back of the wheel, put it on, and just rolling it up there in itself, the bike's actually pretty stable just sitting there. And then that gives me time to get these hooks on, you know, clamp it and tie it down like you normally would on a trailer. So I have to say I'm pretty happy with it. This one does fold. You can see the hinges here. There's a hinge here. There's another one in the back. So if I really wanted to, I could take these step plates off. They come off completely, and then just take this thing and just fold it all up on itself inside of the axle, and then roll it in the garage here, and that's all you'd have is that footprint of the wheels taking up space. But it also tips up as well, so what I can do is roll this in and tip it up tall, so the front end is up towards that air conditioning duct, and just sit it on the back end, and then it doesn't take up really any space in there at all. I've got plenty of room for the bike, but Thank God I got a 10x10, so basically I can move some of these tires and stuff out of the way. I can take the trailer, I can roll it into this right side over here, and then from there I can take the bike and bring the bike over here where the bike stand is right now, slide it in there, and I can fit both of them in just fine. The other nice thing is I can even roll the bike up on the trailer, tie it down, lock it, and then just roll the whole thing in here, so it's actually ready to go the next time I want to ride. I just back it in, it's set, it's all tied down. All I do is back the car up and load it up, and I'm off and running. So anyways, guys, it's hot as hell out here in Florida right now. It's probably 90 some degrees. I've been working now for a couple of hours out here in the heat, so I've had enough fun for one day, and it's almost lunchtime, so I'm gonna pack all this stuff up, put it away, and head home, get cleaned up, get some lunch, and chill out for the rest of the day. Hope you guys have a great day. Take care.